There are haunted houses, there are haunted places, and then there are haunted objects. Objects that don't stay where they're put, objects that outlive everyone who's ever owned them. And then there are objects that people apologize to. Tonight we're talking about one of the world's most famous haunted objects. He sits in a museum behind glass. People still ask permission to take pictures of him, because if they don't, they say bad things happen. I'm Lisa.
And I'm Samantha.
Welcome back to XUMED. This is Robert the Doll. So this story starts out in Key West, Florida in 1905. Robert Eugene Otto was having his 5th birthday party, and he was gifted a doll. This doll was like 4 feet tall, and it was made in Germany by the Steiff Company. Now, this doll came in all different sizes. This big 4-foot size is believed to be something that it's very rare, and they think it was just a display that they had put in their shop window to advertise the dolls, you know?
Yeah.
The smaller version of the doll. But someone got their hands on this rare size and brought it back to Florida. Now, there are a couple different versions of the story with this part. It was either his grandfather, who was on either a business trip or vacation and grabbed the doll and brought it back and gave it to him. It could have been his parents, but the most popular story is that his nanny gave it to him as a gift. His nanny, he was very close with. She was like a second mother to him. And this nanny was also of Bohemian descent, and it's rumored that she practiced Santeria and voodoo. Now, keep that in mind because that comes up later on. This kid is obsessed with this doll, gives it his first name. So this doll's name is Robert now, right? He starts going by his middle name, Eugene. So he's making everybody call him Gene. And every time somebody would slip up and call him Robert, he would get mad. Be like, that is not my name anymore. This is Robert. I'm Gene. And he would get seriously mad about it. So he gives the doll his name. Then he gives the doll his clothes. He had the sailor suit outfit, and he put it on the doll. So folklorists talk about how when you give something your name, your clothes, that's pretty much giving it your identity, and that gives it power that people don't realize. How true that is, I don't know. I mean, it makes sense if you believe in otherworldly shit like that. You know what I mean? So Gene doesn't play with this doll like it's a toy. He plays with it like it is a human person. This is his best friend. And his parents start hearing him talking to Robert, having full-on conversations, and they're not playing. They're actually having serious conversations and sometimes arguments. And the creepiest part about this is that they're not only hearing Gene's voice, they're hearing 2 voices, and one is completely different from the other. So they go into his room thinking he must have a friend over who's here. And they open up the door and he's just sitting there with the doll. And there's one point where
is he talking for the doll?
Well, that's what they thought, but it was kind of a voice that Gene couldn't make. It was completely different. Like, you can tell if someone's like changing their voice to talk for somebody, but this voice was completely different. So they thought it was just a completely different person, like he had a friend over and didn't tell them.
Okay.
So they would open the door and be like, who do you have over? And he's like, I don't have anybody over. And they would accuse him of lying. And he's like, I'm not lying. I don't have anybody here. I'm talking to Robert. And of course, it's a doll, so they're not going to believe him, but it freaked him out too, because they know that they're hearing 2 voices.
Hey, that's creepy.
Yeah. And this voice was like a lower, more gravelly voice, like something that a little kid, like a little 4-year-old, wouldn't be able to do. So other than that, things start happening. Gene's mom would go into his room and find that the entire room was trashed, just toys and clothes and everything. All the clothes are ripped up all over the floor. Some of the toys would be broken all over the floor. And Gene would always swear up and down, I didn't do this. I didn't do this. It wasn't my fault. And things would break around the house. Like his mom's vases and stuff like that, they would break and he would be blamed for it, of course. And he's like, I swear to God, I didn't do it. It wasn't me. Then he starts saying, Robert did it.
For any parent, that's got to be terrifying.
Well, she didn't believe him. And she ended up getting fed up with him because he was staying up past his bedtime. There were a lot of things going on around the house that Gene kept denying and saying that this doll was doing. So his mom's like, you know what? I'm done with this. You're too obsessed with this doll. I'm taking it away. So she took the doll away and she threw it in a closet. And this closet was like off the kitchen. Like you go into the kitchen and that's where the closet door is.
Okay.
That's important in a minute. And his mom tells him, look, you can't blame all of your shenanigans on this doll anymore because he's gone. So a servant was in the kitchen one day and he's just kind of getting a meal ready and then turns around and realizes that closet door was open a little bit.
Where's the doll?
The doll just kind of pokes his head out and then goes back in the closet. And the servant freaks out, drops a bunch of dishes and breaks them. And I don't know if it was because of that experience that Gene ended up getting the doll back or not, but he ends up getting the doll back. And Robert, he's never where you put him. Like you put him on top of the dresser and then you turn around and he's sitting in a rocking chair on the other side of the room. He's just kind of like strategically placed around the house, like something that you would do to freak somebody out. Something that I personally want to do.
So do I. So it almost sounds like a ghost is moving this doll around. A ghost is possessing.
Well, there are theories behind that. There are a lot of theories behind that. And we'll get to that in a little bit. So Gene ends up growing up and he leaves home to go to school. He really wants to be an artist. He really wants to be an architect. So he's traveling to different countries and everything. And he leaves Robert at home with his parents. So he's gone for years, gets married. He marries a woman named Anne, who is a musician. She was actually a pretty successful musician. Then Gene's mom got sick and passed. This was in 1945. And the house was left to Gene and Anne. So they moved back. Anne gave up her career as a musician because by this point, Gene had become a pretty successful architect. So they're moving into this house. They're getting all settled in and everything, Gene's childhood house. And Anne finds Robert in the attic in a trunk.
Nothing good can come from this.
Yeah. So she gets it out and she shows it to Gene. And Gene's like, oh my God. Yeah. He goes, this is Robert. And she's like, what? He's like, yeah, was my best friend. He goes, this is Robert. And he didn't just say, oh, this was my childhood toy. He's like, this was my best friend. And he ends up sitting up a chair next to a window and gave Robert like his own space in his room where he did art. And he would just look out the window. And people that would pass by the house would see Robert in the window. And it felt like his eyes were following them. Like anytime you would walk past the house, you would feel like you were being watched. And what's even creepier is that there's like two sets of windows, right? Robert's over here looking out these windows. And you can see Gene over in the other windows at his desk doing his work, right? And you'd see Robert move in the window. Like he'd be walking around by himself. That's what is claimed that people saw.
Yeah, there's a reason why dolls freak me out. And this is one of them. It's beyond me why some people collect dolls.
Yeah. What's even worse is that Gene ends up obsessed with Robert all over again like he was when he was a kid. And his wife started hearing Gene talking to Robert and heard Robert talking back. At first she was like, oh my God, I'm married to a complete weirdo, And then it turns into, seriously, what the fuck? It really starts freaking her out. So they had guests over one night and they're hearing like all these footsteps upstairs, like all this weird noise upstairs. And one of the guests said, what's going on up there? Who's moving around? And Gene goes, oh, that's just our cat. And Anne goes, we don't have cats. Because
Okay,
Anne's
so it's
like, I'm
creepy
done
that
with this.
he's covering it up.
Yeah. And Anne's just done. She's like, we don't have cats. She's like, tell the truth. And the guests get really uncomfortable and they're like, yeah, I'm going to go now. So Anne's done at this point, and she takes Robert and she puts him back up into the attic in the trunk, puts a padlock on it, has a talk with Gene, and Gene's like, okay, fine. He's like, our marriage is suffering. I'll do this for you. I'll leave Robert alone where he is. We don't need to have him out anymore, because all this time that things are going on, like the guests leaving and the cats running around upstairs and everything, the same stuff is happening. Things are getting broken. Things are getting moved. They're both noticing that Robert is never where he's been left. And she got fed up. And when things would happen, Gene would say the exact same thing that he said when he was a kid. Robert did it. Can you imagine being married to somebody, being a full-grown adult, and then having a
Blaming it on your
as
doll.
a best friend? Yeah, and blaming him? That's weird.
Especially when you're with someone for so long and something like that shows up.
Yeah, it seems like they were together for a pretty long time before they moved into that house and weird stuff happened. Like, can you imagine? She was like, I thought I knew this guy, because he had never
Yeah.
mentioned him before. So Robert's left upstairs for years, and Gene ends up getting Parkinson's. So the last 10 years of his life, for some reason, he gets the doll back out, and he lives in kind of like a secluded area of the house, just him and Robert.
He wants his friend back.
For the last 10 years of his life. So in 1974, he passes away. And then Anne sold the house to like a neighbor or something. When she sold the house, there was one condition. I'm going to sell you this house, but Robert comes with it. I'm leaving Robert here. She didn't want the movers to move in and be like, oh, she forgot this doll. I'm going to send it to her.
Yeah.
She's like, I don't want this doll. This doll is going to stay in this house. And I think she played it off something like, I'm trying to honor Gene's death by leaving his best friend in his childhood home. But what it really was is, fuck this doll. I don't want it anymore.
Yeah. I wouldn't either.
Yeah. 5 years later, though, Anne dies of pancreatic cancer. And it's believed that it was Robert. Robert felt disrespected because she didn't take him with her.
Okay, I mean, I get that.
I don't. It's a doll.
No. Yeah, exactly,
why-
but I understand the theory.
I understand the theory, but I just don't get it. I don't. Okay. All right. I'm going to skip ahead for a second and just say, yes, there is like a demonic attachment to this doll, and it'll get you no matter where you are. All you got to
Yeah.
do is make eye contact with it, and your life's going to go to shit. Right. And I'll tell you about all that stuff in a second. But it's a doll. Did you ever take Child's Play seriously, Chucky? I mean, you're going to tell me, huh?
I honestly don't think I've ever watched it.
You're going to tell me that a little 3-foot doll is on top of you with a knife and you can't push him off? Does
You
he have
should
like
be.
superhuman strength? Because he's possessed by some evil dude. I think he was like a serial killer or something. Really? Kick him across the room. Like, I never took it seriously. It's like, it's a doll. Just kick it across the room.
Put it in the
What are
oven.
you doing?
It's a doll. Put it in the oven. It'll melt.
I mean, they're funny. He's funny. He's not scary, though. Like, what? Robert, though, I would take seriously. I really would. Let's get back to the story, though. Now, 1976, the house was resold to the Reuter family, and the Reuter family had a daughter. So the daughter is snooping around the new house just like any other kid would do. She finds Robert.
And she's a little girl, and she's going to be so excited.
Yeah. And back then, back in 1904, even if you were a boy, it was not going to be something that you would be made fun of for playing with the doll. And the type of doll that Robert was, the size of him and the way that he was made and everything, he somehow, like in the show notes, I will, if you don't know what Robert the doll looks like, I mean, he's pretty famous. I'll make sure I put a link in there where you can see what he looks like. I'm not going to give an opinion because he might come after me. I don't know.
Yeah, don't
It
say
is-
anything negative.
It is said that all you have to do is look at a picture of him That's all you have to do. I don't believe that, though, because I've
No.
seen millions of pictures of him and whatever. I don't believe that. So she finds Robert, and she right away starts having she right away starts having conversations with him. Her parents hear these conversations, 2 voices, not just one, and this time it's a little girl, so it's really like there's no way that she can make that voice. Robert never stays where she puts her, and unlike Jean, this freaks her out. Jean was always like, "Oh, okay, that's where you want to sit? Okay." Like he just kind of accepted it. This girl's like, "No, that's not right. I don't like that." But she starts acting differently because, she's got this doll that's got something wrong with it. Of course, you're going to start acting different.
Just trying to picture it.
I know. So it is alleged that one night while she's sleeping, Robert attacked her and she's in her bed screaming and Robert's on top of her and her parents come running in and her dad picks up this doll and her dad's like, "What the hell is wrong with you? Like, this is not real. He is not a real person. This is a doll." He's like, I'm putting him away. So he, once again, puts him away, back up in the attic, in the trunk.
The psychological damage of this little girl then.
I know, especially after this. Very shortly after her father puts Robert away, he's found dead.
The father?
Yeah. Carbon monoxide poisoning. He was found in his car, and the car was running.
Yeah, sounds like suicide.
Sounds like suicide, sounds like an accident, but it's believed that it was Robert. Who knows? Now, Myrtle, the mom, can't afford the house without her husband, so she sells the house. But she brings Robert with her, like kind of unknowingly. He's put in a trunk, and she just took everything out of the house and brought it to the new house with her. And she's unpacking and opens up this trunk, and she's like, "Oh, Robert." She grows attached to the doll. And this is in the 90s.
Is Robert named the same in the story as well?
Yeah.
Okay.
What do you mean?
I'm just wondering if the little girl renamed the doll.
No, I think what happened is like the name just got passed down, or there was something telling people what his name was.
Okay.
But like the person who bought the house from Anne knew Robert's name. And then the person that sold it to the Reuter family knew Robert's name. And I think they just
Kept being
that
passed
way.
down.
Yeah. So Myrtle grows a creepy attachment to Robert and starts talking to it, having conversations with it and everything. And he's never where he's supposed to be. She'll put him one place, he ends up in another. She keeps Robert until 1994. This is still in Key West. She just moves to a different house. August of 1994, she got rid of him because he attacked her. He locked her in a closet. He did the same thing to Anne, too. And Anne was locked in this closet. Remember when I told you that that Jean's mom locked Robert in the closet in the kitchen?
Yeah.
When Robert moved back in as an adult, his wife was locked in that same closet, supposedly by Robert. And she was left in that closet all night, screaming for Jean. Jean didn't hear her, just went to sleep, woke up and realized that she wasn't in bed and found her in the closet. She's like, "Why did you do that to me?" He's like, "I didn't do it. Robert did it." That was one of the big things. So Robert ends up doing the same thing to Myrtle, locks her in a closet. But this time there's nobody in the house that could have done it. So she donates it to a museum. I was supposed to look up the name of that. Hold on a second. Let me look up the name of it.
This doll's creepy looking.
Yeah. This museum is Fort East Martello Museum in Key West, Florida. What's interesting about this is that Jean helped build this museum.
That's neat.
I guess. Well, she goes in there and she's like, "Look, I don't want this doll. This doll was owned by Gene Otto. It's haunted. I don't want anything to do with it anymore. Take it." Museum's like, "Okay," and took it. And at first they didn't really know what to do with him. So they just kind of like threw him in a room with random stuff that they didn't know what to do with at the time. They just tucked him away. But then right after that, they started having plumbing problems. And this plumber claims that he went in there and he's working on the problem and everything, turns around and the doll is right there like in his face. It freaked him out, and he's like, I wouldn't have even come here if I knew you had haunted dolls in here.
The doll's pissed.
Well, yeah, he's pissed. At night, there were a couple of workers that saw something run down the hallway, like past the door of the room that they were in. And they're like, oh, great, we have rats. So they get up and they're looking for these rats, and they're kind of like looking in the direction that they saw the thing go. And they didn't end up finding rats. They found Robert. And that is not where Robert was left. That is not where they put him.
Got bored of the surroundings. Needs exercise.
Now, after this, they decided to put Robert on display. So now he's in this room, and he's encased in glass, and people come to see him. On the walls of this room, all around Robert, are apology letters from people who have come to see him. Because when you come to see him, there are rules. There are 4 rules. And these rules are, you say hello to Robert and you introduce yourself. Always be polite and respectful. Say goodbye when you leave the room. And the most important part is you ask permission to take his picture. If you disrespect him by not following one of these rules, you will suffer his wrath. People who have gone into this room to visit him have seen the doll move just a little bit. Their cameras are drained. Sometimes the workers will go into the room like at opening time, and there will be a chair pulled up to Robert, like facing him, as if there was something or somebody sitting in the chair talking to him. And they don't know how the chair had moved.
Even though Robert is encaged in glass.
Well, he is, but how well is he locked up in this cage? Because, I mean, it's not a cage, it's like a glass case. But how well do they have him in there? Because a worker claimed that she came in one day and noticed that the doll's feet were dirty. And then she looked on the floor, and in the dust on the floor, she saw dirty, Robert-sized footprints. Yeah. I quit at that point. I quit.
Yeah, oh, yeah. It's either I quit or I'm going to want to play with it.
Fuck's wrong with you?
No, I'm going to want to like toss it in the fire. Going to want to do something with it.
Yeah. Okay.
Put it in
so
handcuffs, tie it against something, see if it actually moves, record it.
I wouldn't put it in handcuffs and tie it to something. What would people think if they found that? Naughty.
The doll moves. Oh, no. I'm thinking the doll moves.
Okay, so we're going to get into some experiences now. There was a photographer put in charge of this project where she had to take a picture of Robert's aura. You know, like everybody's supposed to have like an energy field around them. And your aura is a different color depending on what kind of person you are or something like that. So she was supposed to take a picture of that. And before she had done this, she said that what was weird about it is that she used this type of camera that paranormal investigators use, where if there is a spirit there, it'll map it out like a little stick figure. Have you seen that, like on Ghost Adventures and stuff like that?
Yeah, but something about that I think is just hokey.
Kind of, yeah. What it's not supposed to do is map a doll, though. There's no reason why it would map a doll, but it mapped Robert.
Can this thing be burned?
I don't know. No one's tried, because you can still go see him to this day. Now, this photographer was very respectful. She came in, she introduced herself, she asked permission to take his picture, and then she took his picture. But she had an assistant with her, and the assistant said, "That is an ugly fuck." After that, her life went to shit. She had car accidents, she had financial problems, broke her back, broke her shoulder, lost her business, and I guess she lived on a houseboat. It sunk. So she literally went back and stood in front of Robert and begged him to stop and apologized her ass off. She's like, if it wasn't for me, that guy would have never been here and would have never disrespected you like that. It's my fault. I know that. You know, can we please be good now? Leave me alone?
It's a lot of bad luck. Your house sinks.
Yeah.
That sucks.
Like, that's my whole life, and it's underwater. It's not funny.
No, it's not funny. But yeah, that's funny. That sucks.
Yeah. Okay, there was another experience woman named Becky, she didn't believe in Robert. She went to see him. She didn't believe in him. She's like, this is just a doll. There's nothing going on. She touched the glass, which you are not allowed to do. You're not supposed to do that. She took pictures without asking. She didn't follow any of the rules. When she got home, she said that she felt an evil presence in her home. That's pretty much all there was to the story. I don't know what happened.
Probably something horrific she didn't want to talk about.
Maybe. Another woman was on her honeymoon in Key West. They did a ghost tour and they went to the museum. They were told the rules. Her husband was a dickhead. Her husband did not believe in Robert, thought the whole thing was ridiculous, and so he deliberately broke every single rule. He was knocking on the glass and mocking him and taking selfies with him and shit, doing all the stuff, telling him he looked goofy and just anything that you could possibly do. Now, his wife believed in Robert, and she's like, getting pissed that he's doing this.
Uh-huh.
She's like, you are screwing us because this is real.
At least have a little bit of respect for the rules in general.
Yeah, no,
Don't
he
be
just
a
thought
dick.
it was ridiculous. Oh, yeah, he was a dick. And later on, telling this story, he admits that he was a dick. And he was very apologetic for it. And he's like, I had no idea. Weeks after this all happened, they started hearing tiny knocks in the house that turned into louder knocks that turned into footsteps. They left the house one day and came back, and the kitchen cabinets were all wide open, which is a personal pet peeve of mine. That pissed me off. Every single kitchen cabinet open. And all of the dishes from the cabinets were stacked up on the kitchen floor.
Neatly?
I guess so. I don't know. It reminds me of that scene in Poltergeist. They also experienced car problems, like right away, like within 20 minutes after leaving. They experienced car problems, family accidents. They lost a dog. Their dog died. His mom died. He lost his job. He got sick and almost died. He lost more pets until he finally decided to write a letter of apology. He wrote a letter of apology, and obviously he was still alive to tell this story, so I guess Robert accepted his apology. And like I said, all of these letters of apology are up, like posted on the walls of this room that Robert's in, so people can read them as like part of the attraction.
Okay, so you go into this room, you see all these letters of apology. Shouldn't that warn you enough, even though you don't believe in it? Don't be a dick.
I mean, I don't know. Like now, getting into all of this stuff that we're into now, I would think more about it because anything's possible in my mind at this point, But if I was even 10 years younger, I don't think it would scare me. I don't think I would really think about it. I think I probably would have been the same way as that guy was. Like, this is bullshit. I'm going to mess with him.
Yeah, I can understand that.
I would not now, though. Like, out of all of the haunted things that I want to see, this is not one of them. I don't want to go see him.
Because if I go and see him, I'm going to follow all the rules. But in my head, I'm going to do everything backwards. I'm going to say, screw you, you are ugly, I don't believe in you.
Why would you do that?
That's just what's gonna happen in my brain while I follow all the rules.
He's going to read your mind.
Yes. Yep.
Now let's talk about what a certain medium has said about Robert and the Key West house. This Key West house, I think now you can go to it. It's called the Artist House. And I think you can be a guest there. Maybe it's like a bed and breakfast or something. Or maybe they just do tours. The house is haunted. Now, I don't know how reputable this medium is, okay? But a lot of people know who she is. Her name is Cindy Kaza. Do you know who that is? She has been, she did the Dead Files after Amy left. Did you ever watch the Dead Files?
No.
Okay. Anyway, she took Amy's place on the Dead Files at like the end of that whole series, and She helped out Zach Baggins on Ghost Adventures. I think she actually worked with Jack Osborne at one point with something, and I can't remember what that was. Might have been the Queen Mary, or what was that? Is that the ship, the Queen Mary?
The Queen Mary was a ship.
Okay, yeah, I think that was it. Anyway, she checked out the artist house. Now, what she thinks is going on with Robert is that Robert is not possessed by one spirit. And when I say possessed, I don't mean actually possessed. First of all, nobody knows how that happens. Nobody knows if an object can be, because I got a lot of shit for this with my Ouija board episode. You think you know, you don't know. Nobody knows.
No.
An object can either be possessed, it can have like an attachment to it, it can be used as a conduit, it could be some kind of portal. You don't know. So when you sit there and tell someone else that their belief is wrong, you know, when you say that it's a haunted object, it's kind of like a blanket statement. Like there's something wrong with it.
Yeah, I mean, it could be just someone who passed and their soul is attached to that one object, that they're earthbound because they don't want to leave that book, that artifact. That's why you don't bring things home from like vintage places.
Yeah, you're not even supposed to take rocks home from certain places, Sam. And you're also not supposed to take like dirt from a graveyard. You're not supposed to take that.
No.
Yeah, stuff like that. Anyways, so she thinks that Robert is not inhabited by one spirit. He is inhabited by multiple spirits. And she thinks what has happened is that along the way, wherever he has traveled, from Germany, where he was made, on until this point, he has absorbed more spirits because he is more a portal. She thinks that he's kind of a conduit or a portal.
An energy source.
Yeah, I guess. Some of the spirits are benign. Other spirits are malevolent. And the spirit that you get wrath from if you disrespect him, that is like the main malevolent one. And she also thinks that the house is haunted. She went and did an investigation in this house. Now, in order to take me seriously with this part of the story, you have to believe in mediums and all that shit. I don't even know if I believe her. This is just what she said. She went into the house. She thinks the house is haunted by multiple spirits. Guests have been woken up by some female spirit. There's a little girl who runs around the house and laughs, but she also cries. And there is a heavy feeling of guilt, shame, and remorse. And then she went into one room and she's hearing a baby crying. And the story is, one of the most popular rumors about this house and about Robert, about how he got the way he is the nanny. Remember I told you the nanny is Bohemian? And she was rumored to practice voodoo and Santeria.
Yeah.
Well, the rumor is that the nanny had an affair with the Otto father, and she had a baby, a little girl, and the baby died. And when the baby died, Robert the doll was actually in the room.
Oh, shit.
Yeah. And at that point, Robert wasn't causing any problems yet. That's what I'm assuming. Because after that, it is said that while she was in grief of the death of her daughter, she decided that she was going to put some kind of voodoo curse on the house and on Robert, or one or the other. And that's how it all came about. That's the rumor. And the medium thinks that that rumor might actually be the truth.
That makes sense.
Yeah. So I'm thinking, if you're not even going to go by that story, which was haunted first, the house or Robert? Was Robert haunted because a spirit in the house attached itself to Robert? Or did Robert bring the haunting into the house?
I believe that the house was haunted or cursed and Robert became a part of it.
Maybe, but if you believe in the story of the nanny, if she did that, I think it would have done the house and the doll at the same time.
Yeah, that's what I was trying to get at, yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. Who knows if any of this is true? All I know is I'm not going to go visit the doll. So another thing that people think is that Robert, this story, whether it's true or not, has conjured up so much fear in everyone. What happens when there's a mass fear of something? the story grows and grows and builds and more people believe in it. Do you know what that is?
Mass hysteria?
If you believe in this kind of stuff, okay, you got to believe in this kind of otherworldly stuff. This can
Makes it a cryptid.
this can create a tulpa.
What is that?
A tulpa, I looked it up because it was actually in a Supernatural episode. And when I was researching this, I'm like, they're saying that Robert's kind of a tulpa. Like
It
it
sounds familiar.
starts out a really small story. And then the more it gets passed on and the bigger the story gets, the more people who believe in it, the more power the belief gives the story. And it can literally create this energy called a tulpa. Like what you believe, if enough people believe in it, it's true. So is Santa a tulpa? I'm going to look up the definition of a tulpa. So it said that a tulpa is a thought form or mental entity intentionally created through intense meditation, I can't say that word. Visualize.
It's not me for once.
Visualization and concentration, which gains a sense of sentience, independence, and a persistent personality. Kind of like what they say a poltergeist is. Like you can make your own poltergeist with all of the negative energy in your body that you just kind of keep suppressed and your mind just kind of creates it. It's just energy. It was never human. It's just energy creating chaos. It's kind of what a tulpa is. I thought that was kind of interesting. Like maybe that's kind of what he is if you believe in this kind of stuff. He could just be a doll sitting in a case and nobody believes any of it. You know, I mean, a lot of people believe in him, but he could just be a doll sitting in a case like, I didn't do anything. I'm just a doll.
Yeah.
Or there could really be something to it. He's been blamed for serious illnesses. He's been blamed for deaths and tragic accidents and all kinds of stuff. Cancer diagnoses, all kinds of stuff. And it's like, because what people do is when your life is going to shit and you're like, why? Like, why is all of this stuff happening to me? And then they start thinking, oh my God, I went to see Robert. It's him.
You want to blame. I mean, while we know that bad things happen in threes, you want to blame your problems on something else.
Bad things always happen in threes.
You want to think that it's something out of your control rather than taking responsibility or rather than trying to understand it. Blame supernatural.
Yeah. But in this case, there are so many people. I mean, there are letters of apology all over the walls. Like people believe in him so much that they're like, oh my God, I made a mistake. I disrespected him. I have to apologize. And then they claim that all the bad stuff in their life stopped after they write him the letter. Or they actually go back and see him and apologize to his face. I don't know if I believe in it. I think it's a little hokey. I think it's kind of dumb in a way, but I believe in it enough to not want to tempt fate. I don't want to go see him.
I believe that these things happen to these people.
Well, yeah, of course. But Robert doing it to them, I don't know. I mean, he's a doll. But I do believe that objects can be haunted or have an attachment, whatever you want to say.
I don't know what I believe. Believing that anything is possible, yes. I don't know. Like, there's no scientific proof, scientific evidence, whether it happened or it didn't. So I don't fully believe in it, but I'm not going to go visit it. I'm not going to attempt it.
No.
Because what if there is?
It's not my disbelief in it that makes me not want to see it. It's like, why am I even going to take the chance?
Yeah. Your will to live.
Yeah. I mean, everything about me says disrespectful, I feel like. Because of just my personality. So Robert's going to take one look at me and be like, I'm going to fuck your life.
Yeah. I have enough respect not to go there.
Yeah. Plus, I mean, if it is nothing, what am I looking at? I'm just looking at a doll. I have better things to do.
Yeah, but then I sound scared, like chicken shit for not doing it and hokey for not doing it.
Yeah, but if it's real, you're stupid for doing it.
Exactly.
So, yeah, and I'm not calling all of these people stupid who have gone to see him. I'm just saying that look what happened.
I
So I
want
don't
to
wanna
go
do
and
it.
see it. No, no, no. I want to do it. We do not have the best luck.
Yeah.
And I'm not taking that chance.
We've had enough bad luck in the past year to last us a lifetime, I feel like, so,
Mhm.
no. That's the thing is, like, the reason why I would wanna go see him is to see if it's true or if it's not. But if it is true, I don't want to have to find that out, you know? There's too
I,
much at stake if it is true.
I don't need that bad juju in my life right now.
No. No, we got enough going on.
We do. No.
It's not funny, but it is funny. It's the way we handle shit is we laugh.
You're like, mom wasn't feeling very well the other day, and I look at mom, I was like, stop it right now. We are not going through this shit again.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, get your shit together. Just
And
tell
then-
yourself that you feel good.
Yeah. And then she was okay the next morning. It's like, oh, thank God.
Good. Yeah. I feel like we have to explain that a little bit if you've made it this far. Sam has moved from Oklahoma back home so that she can take care of our mom. She's having recently widowed and she's had health problems herself and she needs a live-in caretaker. And recently she's had a hospital visit and something bad.
Critical.
It was critical, yeah, and she's thankfully fine, but yeah, Sam's really, really on edge ever since then.
It's like, stop it.
Yeah, like, stop it. Feel good. Manifest it. Just, I feel good. I feel great. I feel wonderful.
So this doll still exists.
Yes, and you can go to Key
And how-
West and see it.
And circling back, when was this doll produced? Like 1904?
The turn of the 20th century. Like, I think it was created in the late 1800s. I don't think I wrote down the date of when it was made, but it was, nope, it was made a little bit after 1900. In 1902, the Steiff company made the teddy bear first, and then they decided to make the doll, and the bigger version of the doll that Gene ended up getting, they think was actually just a display in the window advertising, hey, we have this doll. But the dolls that the customers could buy were a smaller version.
Okay.
But Gene somehow got the bigger version.
And
so
then
yeah,
I feel
it was
like, okay, it's been around for about 120 years.
Yeah.
It can collect so much energy in that time. So many people to believe in it. Just.
It could, but like, how many places was it though? Because it came from Germany. Who knows how many places it was between Germany and Key West. And then most of the time it stayed in the artist house. And then it went to a different house in Key West. And then it went to a museum. So it doesn't sound like Robert was in a lot of different places, but he might have interacted with a bunch of different people during the travels. You know? So I don't know. So what are the rules if you were to go and see Robert? What have we
What
learned?
was it? Be respectful. Say hi. Ask to take the picture. Say goodbye.
Yes.
Introduce yourself.
Yeah, say hi and introduce yourself before you do anything else. And then you
Don't
have
touch
to
the
say
glass.
goodbye. Oh yeah, and don't touch the glass. That's not really a written rule, but yeah, don't touch the glass. There was a story about a woman also, I didn't write this one down, who went to see Robert. Before she went to see him, she read up on all of the rules and everything. And one of the rules she didn't see until after she went to see Robert. She found out later. She didn't say goodbye to him before she left the room. And I guess when she went home, sometime after that, she had some kind of like nightmare about him. And then she woke up with like boils or something all over her body. And she put two and two together and she's like, it's Robert. I did something wrong. She's like, I followed all the rules. I don't know what I did wrong. And then she went back on the website and found the one rule that she didn't follow. So she wrote him a letter and apologized to him. I don't know what happened after that. I don't know if the boils just went away. I don't know. I don't know how true any of these stories are. I am just telling you a story.
I wonder if any of these letters get read to Robert.
I wonder if there's someone who is appointed to read the letters to him when they come in. Like someone's job at the museum, one of their jobs is to read the apology letters to him. I don't know. But if you're watching this on YouTube, right down there are the comments. Do you believe in him? Would you ever go see him? And if you went to see him, are you going to respect him or are you going to be a dick and test your fate?
And we both know that a lot of these comments are going to be, no, I'm not going to follow the rules. But the same people who say that are probably going to go there and still follow the rules.
I feel like some of these comments are going to be like, you guys are dumb bitches. None of this is real.
Probably.
So that's all I know about Robert the Doll. That's the story. And if you've made it this far, you're probably one of our consistent listeners. And thank you. And we love you.
Try to sleep well tonight. Think about Robert.
Get rid of all your dolls. Get rid of them.
Okay, so is that...
Okay, I think that's it. Do you know what we'll be doing next week?
I don't have a clue.
I don't know either. I'll figure it out a couple of days after watching this video. You'll know too, because you'll see the shorts. So who knows? I don't know. We'll come up with something, but we'll be back next week. So thanks for listening. Hopefully we'll see you back next week. Like and follow and subscribe and all the stuff and tell all your friends. And
I guess have a good night.
Yep. Have a good night.